Hey, it's Matthew David Hurtado, the Reverend Matthew David from Allow Ministries, and this is the Big Sell Cheat Sheet Guide, and I want to give it to you. Listen, sales is everything. It's the most important part of any business or any institution, because what it does is it allows you to transfer the value to the client or the end consumer. The value doesn't get transferred unless something is sold. So how would you like to come up with easy, effortless, and automatic high-ticket sales in your organization or your business or your home-based enterprise? Are you a coach? Are you someone who wants to help people to the ultimate highest level? Well, you're going to have to be able to offer the highest value, and that requires a quick, concise pitch. So this cheat sheet guide right here is responsible for millions of dollars of sales in our organization. And where it all began was a very low place. I was bedridden and bankrupt with Lyme disease back in 2009. I wrote the #1 best-selling book, Allow, about my journey of overcoming that to creating a 7-figure online business and training like a pro athlete again. And the international #1 bestseller, Ask Until It's Given, about how you can put the dynamics of vibration in place so you can manifest at the highest level. Those are all free to you as well in this guide right here. If you text the number on the screen, text menu to the number on the screen, this will get sent to your phone immediately. And from here, you can get all of the prosperity blueprints that I want to give to you through Allow Ministries. Listen, my mission as your minister is to help you go 10x or more in 2019. So text the word sell to the number on the screen to get this, including the training video, and text the word menu to get the ultimate prosperity guide. And I'll see you on the other side.
All right, guys, welcome everyone. This is Matthew David Hurtado, and that was the introduction video I shot last night for you guys to give you the why you're here. Everybody wants to know, why am I gonna give you an hour of your time? Why do you want to spend the next hour with me when you could be searching every news story on Facebook or YouTube and finding out about the wall and all the other things in the world that seemingly probably don't matter at all to your bottom line? I'll tell you why. We're going to talk about how to close a deal tonight. How to close the deal. It's going to be very, very important for you. It's going to be powerful. So I just want to give a big welcome to Kathy, Casey, Vito, Julian, Abel, and Judy, Randy, Brandolyn, Vancito, Angel, everyone that's out there that's tuning in right now, Joel, Bill, hey, haven't seen some of you guys in a while. Darian's here, Liz. So we're going to talk about this tonight, and I'm going to give you a methodology that was given to me years ago. And you know why it's so cool? Because a lot of people out there are working the prosperity principles that I teach at my website, Matthew David Hurtado, and they are doing the 3-2-1. But a lot of people want to do more than just work a job. They don't just want to work a job. They want to be able to build a business or to reach the peak pinnacle of success in their sales organization. And you know what it takes? It takes practical application of knowing how to close a deal. And we're going to talk about that. This is the art of selling, the transformation, and delivering value. So here are my promises to you. If you stay till the end and watch the entire presentation, you will gain clarity on what you're actually selling and why people buy or they don't buy. You will gain focus on where to direct your sales message for the least resistance. You will gain certainty on how to identify the perfect offers for your market. You will gain a proven action plan if you want to build a consciousness for wealth. So before we begin, let's start with a few prosperity gifts. The first gift that was in the intro video is the prosperity menu. There's a text number on the screen, area code 608-530-6658. You can text the word menu and you can get all of this amazing material. And you know why it's amazing? Because it's what I used when I was bedridden, bankrupt, and I built 7-figure online companies. And God called me into the ministry. God wants me to share these things. They were built on biblical principles. We have the wisdom essentials. We have program your mind material. We have the health. We have the prosperity, and then the advanced training. It's all there for you. And I also want you to always refer back to the 3-2-1 prosperity formula. That's what I did on rinse and repeat, rinse, repeat. It's the 3-2-1, aligning yourself with the proper vibration, the proper mindset, the proper attitude. And that's at Matthew David Hurtado. That's all free. That's all there for you. It's the perfect primer to get you started. So wait, what does a minister know about sales? You might be thinking that if you don't know me. Well, there's me when I had Lyme disease of 150 pounds, okay, dying. That's my son when he was younger. And there's me 2 years ago. I still look the same today, but this is 185 pounds, healthy, strong. That's my daughter Fiona. And this is the $5.5 million build out mansion that I lived in when we first hit our first 7-figure year. And I had reached that pinnacle of success by understanding prosperity principles and sales principles. And I did it when I was recovering in this condition right here. So if you don't know what it's like to live in a body that is chronically ill to the point where you're worried about your survival on a day-to-day basis, then you can't truly appreciate how much of an epic transformation that was. And it's not because of me, it's because of how powerful these principles and these strategies are, and how powerful God is when you lean in. So it all ties together. So what do I know about sales? Well, let's take you all the way back to the year 2000. I answered a newspaper ad to do product demos. That's what it said in the paper. So at the time, I was young. I just left the construction industry, electrician apprentice, and I was doing pizza delivery on the side. And I sat there and I watched this guy who had a $1,500 Movado watch on and a nice suit, and he was doing a vacuum presentation for a training. And then on day 3, this guy comes in and he's wearing a $5,000 Rolex watch, and he has a much better suit on. And he was on fire. This guy was fit, energetic, and he talked about how he was earning, and this is back then from vacuum sales, $300,000 a year just doing these demos. So I was excited. I was like, well, great, I need money. So here's the thing. I did exactly what they taught me. I followed the training like verbatim, and I earned a $4,200 commission check that week. I had never earned that much in a week in my life. It was amazing. Like I realized the power and the potential of sales when you do exactly what a professional tells you, okay? I became the #1 sales closer and eventually taking ownership of the sales office. And once the internet got going and popular, I decided I didn't want to work so hard. I didn't want to physically go knocking on doors anymore. But it doesn't matter because the sales principles all apply to any medium you use, including the internet, the phone. It doesn't matter. What I'm going to teach you transcends any of the mediums because I discovered the secret of how value is exchanged and money moves into the hands of problem solvers. So money's a reward for solving a problem. So if your bank account is low and you're in the sales profession, well, typically that means you're not solving big enough problems, or you're not solving them effectively, or you're not scaling them to a degree that makes you comfortable and provides the prosperity you should be living in. So here's the thing I learned in the vacuum sales that I'm going to use as the analogy going forward, is that if you understand vacuum sales, if you don't show their dirt, repeat that 3 times, show their dirt, you don't get the sale. That's how it worked out. That was the end of the discussion. So when I noticed in the sales slump, when I was selling vacuums, it was because I was trying to shortcut a process, a very powerful process that I didn't understand at the time. And because I was trying to shortcut the process, that was my ego getting in the way. We think we're so smart and we get in our own way. But you have to understand, in any human interaction, if you're going to be a servant, that's biblical. If you're going to be a servant, it's not about you, it's about them, okay? Now, the dirt in going forward in the context means the pain. We're going to talk about the pain that agitates the buyer. And every time you pull up more dirt, that's more pain, more agitation. And if you understand human psychology, people move away from pain and towards pleasure. That's the bottom line. So if we don't communicate in that way, or if we don't know what we're doing and we communicate inappropriately, then we're not going to have an effective message. So people buy things to solve problems or to associate to their other reptilian needs, survival, reproduction. So for the sake of being unfamous, I'm going to assume that you're not a well-known household brand name celebrity. You see, people only buy to associate with celebrity appeal. So if you don't have celebrity appeal, then that's not going to work for you. You're going to have to focus on the other strategy, which means you're going to have to become a master of solving pain. And if you don't expose the pain and agitate it, then you have no business asking for a sale in a high-end ticket sales environment. So if you want to create a surge of cash flow really fast, I'll give you a red hot tip. I learned this in the health supplement business back when we were doing millions of dollars in sales. Okay, we did it all fast. Is that you must get good at identifying what they call burning hot fires of pain and solving the immediate problem. I'm going to get more into that. I'm going to give you all the specifics of this, but a burning hot fire could literally be, do you have, hemorrhoids, something that's burning and it's bothering you? Well, if I have a solution that takes it away right away, well, then I can put out a burning hot fire. So that's what I mean by a burning hot fire. And in every industry, there's always pain that you can put into that burning hot fire category. That is what we need to focus on. And I'm going to show you how to identify that pain with whoever you're talking to. That's what's important about this transmission. So let me ask you a question. We're just going to do a little Q&A right now. Which one of these options would you buy right now? Headline, amazing new coaching class, tapping combined with hypnotherapy. Dr. Whatchamacallit's from somewhere in the rainforest studied with monks for 28 years, and he can hold his empty stomach for 48 days, and 17 hours of study are going to be crammed into 19 hours of tapping and putting you under so you can fast for a month too. And we have a 3-day meditation to silence your mind and kill the ego so we can end hunger once and for all. All right? Or if I say something like, say goodbye to those old urges in less than 5 minutes with one simple tapping script. Mary lost her urge to binge in one session. You can learn how to tap in 3 minutes. And can this powerful 30-second script change your consciousness, ridding old impulses for good? Which one's more appealing to you? I'm going to assume it's the one on the right. Why? Because I know how your reptilian brain thinks. You see this right here? We live in a digital environment where information overload has caused our attention spans to shrink to less than a goldfish. Now, this is what you need to know about your presentation, is that if you're going to sell something and move someone from point A to point B, if you are giving them too much information, it is considered a threat to their reptilian brain because your reptilian brain fears it's going to use too much brain power. So if you're out there telling logical alibis, which are good sounding, virtues of your product, you're wasting your time because the advertising is doing that everywhere and you're not going to cut through. So I'm going to show you how to cut through the garbage, and I'm going to show you how to really communicate in a way that gets you the sale. Here's what works today. As I said, the reptilian brain always wins. If you want to know more about that, Dr. Clotaire Rapai talks about the 3 brains, and he talks about how the reptile always wins. So here's what works today. Your offer, it must be new. It must be quick and simple. Ideally, it should be a one-step solution. It must be either no risk or you need to reverse the risk. And it must be, get this, perceived as the fastest path out of their pain. That's the only way you're going to cut through the mess. So we're going to talk about how to get into it. We're going to talk about how to really lay it out and to get unconscious compliance with whoever you're talking to. So before we do, I want you to hear from Liz, and this is about a 1-minute technique at the Spiritual Millionaire Workshop. And the headline says, imagine a 1-minute technique that forces the universe to give you what you want. So take it away, Liz.
Hey guys, my name is Liz and I am one of Matthew David's coaching clients, and I want to tell you today about an experience I had this weekend with him. So he taught me the self-entrainment technique, and guys, seriously, Pay attention. Raise your hand if you've read all the self-help books. Raise your hand if you've watched all the YouTube videos. Raise your hand if you've done affirmations until you're blue in the face. You've hugged the trees, you've done the grounding, you've read the scriptures, you've listened to the songs, you've done it all, and yet something is missing. Guys, this technique, I feel like it has been the missing puzzle piece that I have been looking for. Energy is everything. Energy is everything. And so sometimes I would find myself in a place of low energy, and that would last for days, weeks, and sometimes even months. And you know that when you're in a low energy level, nothing works. Nothing works. So using this technique, I'm so excited. It teaches you how to take yourself from a low energy level to your optimal energy level within a matter of minutes. Minutes, not days, not weeks, not months, minutes. Cut. Get it over with. Seriously. This is like, I just cannot thank Matthew David enough for sharing this with me. And I beg you to pay attention, because guys, this will change your life. I'm new to this. It's only been a couple of days. I couldn't be more excited. I've seen such dramatic results already. So pay attention.
All right. So what's exciting about this, everyone listening, is that the effects scale over time. All right. And we'll talk about that more in a little bit. So let's keep going. You can learn about this at allowuniversity.com. It's about the Spiritual Millionaire Workshop. It is the one-step solution that I recommend, and we'll talk more later about it. So here, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this. Let's talk about how to close a deal. All right. According to Clitero Pi, the pilot is the leader. So the archetype is a pilot. Imagine yourself. People want to get on board and they want to have you fly them to their destination. So think about what that means. It doesn't mean they want you to throw 35 million years of material at them and tell them to study it, because the reptilian brain is going to consider you a threat and get rid of you real quick. What they want is done for you approaches, or done with you with minimalist effort. Okay? That's what people want today, because they don't have any more thinking capacity. There's no more space available. They're already full. So the specific strategy for enrolling, enlisting, and enabling others to transform with you as their trusted colleague. Okay? Now I want you to make sure you have this. If you want to remember this later and you don't want to watch this entire training, then text the word SELL to the number, and you will get this cheat sheet guide right here that reminds you of everything I'm about to tell you. This is how I've always closed high-end deals, and all the way up to $50,000, down to $2,500 to $500, whatever. The price doesn't really matter if you have the right offer. This is how you structure the deal and how you close it. So make sure, if you don't have this, you want this. Grab this cheat sheet, and if you can't text it in, you just have to come back and watch the video again. That's fine. All right, so step number one, I want you to reframe the way that you operate with other people. I want you to imagine that you're the physician. Okay, so imagine how you walk into the doctor's office, and this is how we're going to set up the scenery for a transaction. So I want you to begin your conversation with whoever you're working with, your client, your prospect, with asking them what the top 5 things they need to improve in their lives are. In other words, I want to know, what are the symptoms of dysfunction in their life? What are the challenges? So I always ask people, what are the top 5 things you want to work on and improve in your life right now? And they tell it to me. Now, if I'm selling a product, what are the top 5 problems that you want to solve, or what's giving you the most pain here? And they say, oh, geez, my knees hurt. Oh, what else? What else is bothering you? And then they tell me, I'm like, what else? I want to elicit with my questions a list of at least 3 to 5 things. And I'll tell you why in a moment, okay? And I want to elicit the pain that's coming from some dysfunction. I don't care about anything else truly, because when you go into the doctor's office, he doesn't ask you how you did on your exams this week and this and that. He says, what hurts? Tell me what's wrong. What's going wrong with you? Then he checks you out. Is that right? So I want you to think of it like that. And I want you to get the answers and remind them not to overthink it, just to say what's on their mind without analyzing. So let's have an example here that you sell a coaching program, and your coaching is about building better relationships. So we'll talk about how to do this. So now you see the X-ray here? You need to establish credibility and authority by understanding your prospect's dirt. Remember, you got to show them the dirt. You need to understand their dirt better than anyone else, because that's what gives you credibility. That's how you get credibility and trust when you're not an established best-selling author or you're not some well-known celebrity name. This is how you can have no reputation and be perceived as the utmost trusted authority in someone's life, by understanding their dirt better than anyone else. And trust me, when it comes to this, it only takes a little bit of asking the right questions and digging for the right answers. So step number 2 is looking at the X-ray to determine which treatment is appropriate. Isn't that what a doctor does? So you come into the doctor's office and they say, what's wrong with you? And then they, maybe take an X-ray, and then they look at it and determine what the best treatment is. Well, after we ask the questions, here's how the human mind works. It triads. I repeat, the human mind triads. The first answer that comes is what's called the obsession. This is what your prospect thinks the problem is. This is what they obsess about. So, for instance, you say, what's going on with your body? Oh, my knee hurts, my back hurts, I'm just feeling really confused right now. Okay, well, if I said that to you, my knee hurts would be the obsession. The second thing would be filler. And the third answer that comes from your unconscious mind is the heart of the matter, the heart of the matter. The heart of the matter is where you want to focus. Again, this is the red hot burning fire that you want to put out. This is where the reptilian brain is focused. This is where I will aim my laser at, okay? Now, that's not enough here. We have to quantify what this means to them, and we have to turn the tables. So we have to do something very unique and very powerful. We have to turn the tables so that they're not thinking, oh, geez, how much is this treatment going to cost? I need to turn the tables and show them how much it already costs, because this is their dirt. It's destroying their house. Look at how much damage it's doing, and I need to show them how my solution is a tiny little fraction of that price, okay? So you need to get them talking about their pain to quantify it. Don't steer away from the point. Don't talk about relatives and try to build rapport for 45 minutes. That's absurd and ridiculous. The doctor doesn't do that, does he? If you want to be perceived as an authority, you need to come across as an authority. The doctor doesn't sit in the room and talk to you about fluff and filler for more than a minute or two, right? Well, neither should you. You should talk about your expertise in solving their problem, having properly diagnosed exactly what the situation is. So leave your opinions and stories out of it for now. So we want to show them their dirt and make it visible. This is a very critical step in the setup here. This is how you reverse the whole fear that they have of the hurdle that's going to come, okay? So this is how we do it. And now notice how this is number 3 on my list. This is the heart of the matter, okay? Heart of the matter right here. Show them their dirt. Same thing in the vacuum, same thing in anywhere. See, example, if they say, well, my relationship is going badly. All right, well, great. Talk about this by asking them to describe their pain. Remember, the human brain moves away from pain and towards pleasure. So ask them to tell you about their pain. Don't you overtalk them by telling them how great your company is, how amazing your product is, how excited you are. That's absurd. It's not about you. It's about them. Serve. If you want to lead, you must serve. Okay? So this is what we talk about in terms of what is the problem costing you mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially. How long has this been going on? Don't let them get off into a segue or a side conversation, because often when you do this, the mind wants to cop out. That's why they've been living with it for so long. If you have somebody looking at their finances, they're going to be like, oh yeah, well, hey, they're going to try to distract. Keep them focused on it. Have them own up to it and mature up to it and look at it straight in the eye. So then you're going to future pace it by using their words and not yours. Here's an example. You just told me that you're suffering from miserable days at work and no love, and it's costing you at least $50,000 a year because you're in such a low energy state of being depressed all the time. You know that you should be earning more. You should have gotten a promotion a long time ago. And what you're presently earning is destroying your self-esteem. This has been going on for how long? See, you must measure the gap of where they want to be and where they presently are to show them what's called the lost opportunity cost with their words, with their dirt. You need to show their dirt. In the vacuum business, what we used to do is we had to pull at least 35 different dirt samples from all over their house and lay it out right in front of them so the housewife could see it. You know, back in the day, that's, you know, who you had to impress was you show the housewife the dirt and you ask the husband for the sale in the typical male-female structure. That's just how it was. That's back in the, you know, whatever, the 80s, 90s. Today, whatever you're doing, you want to show the dirt, their dirt. And then you want to pull up all sorts of it, quantify it, show them how bad this has gotten. Because if you're not good at moving them into that position of feeling this pain, you're not going to be able to move them into the solution. And next, I'm going to show you how to move them into the solution of pleasure and do it in a way that will not offend their reptilian brain. Okay? This is new. You might not have heard this ever before. And chances are 90% of people out there are doing it all wrong. Okay? Because it's not the same, you know, bombard them with all sorts of data. That doesn't work anymore. Here's what actually is going to work. Now, let me ask you a question. Would you trust a surgeon that wanted to operate on you without properly diagnosing you? Of course you would not. So if you don't show them the dirt properly, then you have no business going any further. So if you want to scale up a company and you want to have multiple offers, continuity programs, and everything that you should be offering in any business or any coaching program that you're doing, you have no business going any further if you haven't truly understood who you are talking to, what their motivations are, what their pains are, and where they want to move. In other words, if you don't know what transformation needs to be made for them at the hot red button level, then you're just communicating a bunch of gibberish, and chances are you're offending their reptilian brain. I repeat, you are offending their reptilian brain. I'll say it one more time. If you don't communicate to their red hot pain button in a specific, simple, and precise way, and I'll show you how, which I have, and I'll show you the solution, you're offending the reptilian brain. Don't do it. Okay, so the next step, this is going to blow your results up huge, like Donald Trump, right? It's going to blow it up. You want to become a high producer? You want to go parabolic? You want to go from earning here 30,000, 50,000, 100,000. You want to go up to where you do over $1 million in revenue? You want to go up to that level? Well, then pay close attention to what I'm going to tell you next. If you can successfully do the first 3 things and deploy it effectively, I'll talk more about that at the end, then if you add this onto it and you catch what I'm going to say to you, your sales results should go on a parabolic upswing to the moon. So what you're going to do is you're going to then tell a compelling, similar story. You're not going to talk about facts and data ever again. Logic offends the reptilian brain. I repeat, logic offends the reptilian brain. One more time for learning. Logic offends the reptilian brain. Now that you've diagnosed the situation, like a physician would, you propose the immediate solution to their pain. Here's some good verbiage. Based on what you told me, I think I can help you. Again, do not tell them about all the great things you do and all the wonderful things about your company, etc. That is such a waste of your breath. Don't do it. It's boring and it's considered a threat to the brain. Instead, tell them a story about someone just like them who had the same situation or similar and turned it all around for the better. Then highlight the new benefits. It's called future pacing. Take your prospects on the mind journey, highlighting the new benefits of where the person in the story is now, so that your client can insert themselves into the story, okay? And it goes a little bit like this. Here's an example. Joe had the same problem in his marriage. He brought his wife to our Spiritual Millionaire Workshop. They discovered how to reunite the honeymoon phase by shifting their vibration. Today, they're making love 3 times a week, building a business they love, and Joe feels on top of the world. Now, I surmise that you should probably tell true stories because people know when you're BSing them. So don't make stuff up. If your product or service sucks, then get rid of it and get something that works. If you are trying to sell something that doesn't work, stop immediately. Okay? This is not for you. This is not to try to con somebody. This is to be more effective at doing something that is already effective. So that's my advice to you going forward. So if you need to watch this again, I recommend you do, because this is the magic of how it's done. Stories are hypnotic selling. Stories bypass the logical left analytical brain immediately and insert the person right into the story, okay? You see, long features and logic talk is considered a threat to the reptilian brain. So Dan, now Dan's training, I want to talk to you about a story here. He came to the first workshop. He's one of our first 12 Genesis that showed up in June 28th. And you see, because of his repetition of the training, he's coming into a masterful vibration. And training is the difference between success and failure in life.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I attended Matthew's workshop because I wanted to use the law of attraction, and I wanted to learn how to increase my vibration and use the law of attraction to create an online business and bring more income into my life. And through the weekend, I learned how to let go of beliefs and karma. And then the self-entrainment technique allowed me to step into this world, to show up as the person that I want to be. And this has kicked off an amazing transformative process in my life. It has transformed every facet of my life. It has been a rapid, high-speed journey of personal development and growth that, to me, is worth more than any amount of cash whatsoever. However, having taken that journey, I have now come to the point where, as we speak, I am launching a new online business. In fact, I'm launching 2 brand new online businesses, and I feel absolutely positive that they're going to succeed and that life is going to move forward. And so this workshop has enabled me to come to the place personally where I can actually step out in power instead of being timid and present value to the world, and also to allow that value to flow back to me because I no longer have those blockages in my life. So, Matthew, thank you so much for the workshop.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Dan, for doing the work, because it requires you to do the work. And that's what happens when you put in the work the right way. You see, training is everything. Just like in Kingsman, Eggsy, rely on your training. See? Training. That's right. This is all about training. You're getting training now, and this is the utmost advanced training at the workshop. So step number 5 is you either need to remove or reverse the risk. And you need to be clear about your expectations. I'll give you a tip. Don't promise anything. Here's a promise that I make. The only guarantee I'm going to make you is that this is the last time you'll ever see this $2,000. Period. Okay? That's the only promise I'm going to make you. If you come to my workshop, That's the last time you're ever going to see the money. I'll make you that promise. I'm being real. I'm not laughing about it because I can't guarantee you're going to do the work. That's what's comical, is that people that try to guarantee that someone else is going to do something, that's comical. I guarantee we provide the training, but I can't guarantee the work. So remind them, this is what makes people do the work, okay? By being able to move people from pain to pleasure. Remind them of the size of their current problem in terms of lost opportunity cost. I'm going to give you guys a chance to do this in just a moment so you'll get an example of how it works. I want you to give them a firm deadline and tell them to get started right away to solve their problem now. Ask for a commitment right away. Right away. Once they've made a decision that the pain is real, ask for the commitment. So just like the doctor would say something like this, listen, this is serious. That lump on you is going to require surgery. We start the operation on Monday, and it's going to cost $5,000. You see, the price they're already paying, the dirt is, they're already sick, they're already suffering, they're already in pain. They're already in pain. We talked about it. Now we want to get them out of pain. Okay? See, now here's what I want to give you. If you don't close nearly all of the sales, I can almost guarantee you have one or more of these three problems in your organization, your business, your whatever you do. Number one is you're not perceived as a trusted advisor or colleague, okay? You didn't establish this ahead of time properly. I'll talk about that in just a moment. Number two is this is a marketing problem, not a sales problem, but you didn't pre-qualify your prospect ahead of time. You see, good marketing brings people in the door and sales closes the deal. So you should be working with a perfect client avatar, and all of your language, all of your offers on your top of funnel should all be geared towards a pre-qualification of the appropriate person, okay? That's how it works. That's how a real systematic, streamlined business works. And number three, you didn't manage your state of being properly to execute an enthusiastic, certain, and confident delivery. Before I put on this, I did the self-entrainment technique. I can flow. Anytime I do the self-entrainment technique, I can get right into the midbrain and I can get into the flow state, and I can stay into the flow state for an entire 3 days at a seminar because I've trained myself with this technique. That's how powerful this is. And like Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street, says, you need to have 3 resource states available to you at all times: enthusiasm, certainty, and confidence. And if you don't, then what you're doing is you're projecting weakness into your presentation, and people are reading your weakness. So these are the 3 things that it takes to be a top producer. Is it worth it? Well, would you like to make 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures? The sky is the limit in the sales profession because salespeople are the highest paid people in the world and they're the lowest paid people. What's the difference? I'll tell you the difference. Training, period. End of discussion. Ty Lopez said it, and I affirm it's true. Training is the difference between success and failure. So I'm going to show you some keys to overcoming these 3 pitfalls fast. This is class number 2, by the way, of the Spiritual Training Workshop. So take your training to the next level for quantum leaps in personal income and success. So here's what I offer in our organization. I have a done-for-you approach, and these are out there all over the place. You can hire someone like me that'll build you a step-by-step sales funnel process and train and manage your state of being. But you know what? High-end coaches, they add up to money real quick, and one good funnel can cost you upwards of $20,000, $30,000, $50,000. I have clients that pay me right now. They just appreciate not having to do all the work. They pay me 25 to 50 grand to build a complete turnkey system like beatitupsolution.com, the product Beat It Up, or DNA Evolve. I built those and I'm selling those myself because I build these and sell them myself. This is what I've been doing for years and years. So I understand sales very well. I understand marketing, but most importantly, I understand state. Because when I had Lyme disease and I was bedridden, I had to overcome state on a daily basis to perform at a peak level in spite of my weakness, literally. So everyone and everything can automate itself, okay? You can automate your state of being, and you can automate everything you're presently doing in whatever business you have, even if it's a carpet cleaning business. I don't care what business you have. This training is applicable to you. You can take any business to the highest level by using what I've taught you here and what you'd learn in the Spiritual Millionaire Workshop. You see, here's my secret. Clarity, certainty, and a proven action plan. I've mastered all three of them. And here's how it works. I understand how to dig and find out exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, who I'm supposed to be talking to, where to find them, and what offers to make them. And this is how you lay out everything. It's laying out the blueprint of an entire sales structure. And I'll tell you why you do this. Because it removes 85% of the resistance up front. So that at the end of the day, when you are doing the actual selling, you're talking to a pre-qualified, red-hot prospect that is ready for you simply to just assure them that they're in the right place. That's all there is to it when you've done the homework and you lay it out properly. So where do you learn all this stuff? Well, let me tell you before I tell you that. Most people fail to execute. I'm going to tell you why they're stuck. If you know anybody, maybe they're sitting in your chair that's stuck right now, I'm going to tell you why. Number one, overwhelm. They can't manage their state of being. They don't know how to discern what's right and what's wrong. They don't know what actually they should be focusing on. They're lost. That all comes down to state of being. Now, number two, they don't have a proven strategy. They don't know where to begin. So most people do business ideas completely upside down. They start with a great product idea, and then they try to figure out who to sell it to. Actually, you should do it the other way if you want to become quickly successful. You should pick the perfect avatar, find out what their pain is, and match a solution to their pain, and then build a series of sequential offers in a continuity program and talk the language and apply some simple marketing strategies, and you will have hot knife through a warm stick of butter type of success. That's how it works. And number three is they don't have the consciousness for prosperity. This is a big one. You can take somebody out of a poverty neighborhood, but you can't take the poverty out of the person until you change the consciousness. And here's the key: is you get in life what you expect and negotiate. Now, if any one of these things is you, any one of them or all three, nobody's here judging, because this was me, all three of them when I began. How would you like a one-step solution to solve all of these challenges in one weekend? Maybe you don't think it's possible, but how would you like it if it were possible? Well, in my opinion, the Spiritual Millionaire Workshop is the ultimate answer. See, on day one, we do cleansing and we release years worth of emotional baggage. Day two, we set up the perfect day from solution consciousness. It's a huge difference between what most people do. You know exactly what to do in solution consciousness. You get clarity, certainty, focus. Day three, you learn the self-entrainment technique. You change your state of being. You want to know how powerful that is? I'm going to show you a story in the next frame about how powerful that is. Now, day four is you learn how to set up all of the marketing stuff that I just taught you. And then after that, we do a 10-week business mastermind sales mastery clinic. That's starting in this next workshop. That's new. That's so that we can guarantee that you learn it. So it comes by real quick in the workshop. All the business stuff comes quick. But to guarantee that you learn it is going to require once a week for 10 weeks going over each specific step one by one. Okay? Very simple, one step at a time. And what is the price? It's a fraction of the price it's already costing you. And I'm going to prove that to you right now. See, here's what I want you to ask yourself. Nobody's judging you, but if you are wanting to earn more money, let's just assume that maybe you do. What are you already losing by staying stuck where you are in whatever rut you're in? I want you to do this in your own mind. What did you earn precisely to the penny or as close as possible in the last 30 days? 25,000, 7,000, 3,000? It's between you and you. Nobody's judging you. But this is the point. Your actual set point, that's your money consciousness right now. This is where you are wired to earn money right now. And it's not going to change itself. It's the result of your knowledge, and get this, it's heavily result on your state of being, okay? Now, how long has it been this way? You see, is it going to get better by itself, or 5 years from now, is it going to get worse? What's it going to look like in 10 years? What if you don't solve this? What if you can't break free? Are those creditors going to get easier? Are they going to get harder? How does that feel? What does your social status look like? Because money represents social proof. What does it feel like to not have the kind of money that you need to have freedom? How does it feel to be bound in the next 5 years, 10 years? You see, these pains, I felt your pain when they took everything from me when I had Lyme disease. They took everything. Okay? They took it all. And I want to tell you something. The pain was the blessing, because the pain got me to move and to take action. And I'm hoping today maybe that'll happen for you. How much money do you need to be in what I call financial freedom? Here's how you figure this out. Take what your needs are to pay all your bills and triple it. Just think of that number in your mind. Is it 15,000, 25,000, 10,000? Now, all you got to do is take what you need to be financially free and then subtract what you earned in the last 30 days precisely. And that spread times 12 is the actual size of your problem. Most people say, well, I want to earn 10,000 a month in my business. I'm like, how much are you earning? I'm earning 5,000. And I say, okay, so you got a $5,000 a month, $60,000 a year problem. What are you going to do about it? See, it doesn't matter what the problem is if you're not going to do anything about it. But if you are, then we can talk. And I want to tell you 2 stories. I want to tell you about a guy that did nothing about it, and it breaks my heart. All right, this is a true story. This guy came to me the first time back in 2013. Okay, when we were doing millions of dollars in sales in our health supplement products. He was a customer, and then he showed up again after I wrote the book Allow, and he said, listen, I want your free consultation. So I spoke to him, and I told him what I teach in my 3-2-1 prosperity formula. I said, listen, I suggest you honor God. I suggest you get right with God. I suggest you do these things, because he was in his late 50s and he was having problems in his marriage because he was getting into gambling and addiction. And I said, well, what's happening that's causing the most problem here? And he said, well, my finances are getting so bad that my wife's getting really upset. And I said, listen, your life's spiraling out of control. I said, we need to get some order here. And I said, call me back in a week. He didn't call me back. I didn't hear from him for another 2 years, okay? He called me back in 2 years, and he said, listen, things have gotten really, really bad. I need your help. I need your help badly. He goes, my wife is leaving me. I'm in deep trouble. I need to make money. And he's like, I got into this network marketing business. And he goes, it would really help me if you'd help me. So I signed up in his business to help him. And I bought, all this cleaning stuff. Of course, I wasn't going to build the business. I contemplated it, but it's not for me. But I bought all this cleaning stuff to help him. And I never heard from him. He was my sponsor, and he never called me back. And then I get a call from a police officer, whatever, where he was from, asking if I heard from him. I said no. And they said, well, he went missing. And then I found out, I got a call again from someone. They said they found his remains in the forest. They found his remains. I think he owed somebody a lot of money from gambling. He owed the wrong person money. He got into some big trouble. This is a true story. And I cried that day because I was being called into ministry even back then, and I couldn't help him. I couldn't do anything for him. He didn't want to listen to me. And some people are just that way. You can't help everybody. I don't know if his destiny was that or not, but that's what happened. But on the other side, I want to tell you about Sylvia. And Sylvia comes from pain when she began her journey. So I'm going to let her explain to you in a nutshell what her transformation has been.
Hi, I'm Sylvia, and I just quickly want to point out some of the things that happened to me after Matthew David Hurtado's workshop. And my broken heart was healed because my spouse had just transitioned. My income expanded from nothing to 5,000. I was on food stamps, and I was able to get off within 4 months, and that was exciting to me because I did not like being on food stamps or anything like that. I've never had to. So I was able to come into my power, step into my power, gain my self-confidence, gain my self-worth in knowing that everything is already there. And my business of conscious mourning was able to take off. I put in the work. I get a book deal the very next day from Hay House that I'm still working on. It's a year long. I started a Positive Mind Wear t-shirt, Facebook Tribe, Soul Family, Conscious Mourning website, and so many more things pertaining to the business that astonishes me that I was able to get all this up and going within 7 months now. And I've seen some income come in from there. So that's like so amazing to me. But the biggest thing was that love found me, because after being with someone for 28 years, you tell yourself that you will never find another love and that you don't want to and you don't want to move on. However, using Matthew's tools, I initiated my intentions very soon on. And even though I didn't believe it at the time, I followed through and I did it anyways. And at his second workshop, I met a spiritual alpha male, which is what was in my intention. Someone who could share my life's journey, live the same path, and it has been remarkably amazing. This new journey that I'm on, I'm very grateful. Had I not gone to Matthew's workshops, I know my life would have taken a completely different turn, which is why I'm still going.
Thank you, Sylvia. So that was nice. It was short. And I will tell you, Sylvia came to the first workshop and she had glasses on, sunglasses, hiding behind the glasses the whole time. Now, last workshop, she was in front of the room speaking to everybody. She's got a book deal with Hay House coming. She's got businesses in the pipeline. She went from, where she was at, I guess, from food stamps to $5,000 a month. I challenged her. Next time we're going for 10. You see, this is all consciousness. This is all consciousness, and it's a result of training. And as you scale it over time, the repetition builds its own momentum, and that's what happens. Now, here's the bottom line. Your decisions are going to determine your prosperity every moment. You can invest in wisdom or hard lessons in life. You can get mentorship, or you can learn from your own failures. You can get a team to support you, or you can keep working in a negative environment. You can learn habits of self-made millionaires, or you can keep with the world system of dog eat dog. You can get training and succeed at the highest level, or you can stay frustrated trying to figure it out by yourself. And you can start today and make a powerful decision and follow through on promises you've made in the past to yourself. Or you can just keep putting it off and allowing the pain to fester. These are all decisions. You see, decisions determine your prosperity. So if you need some warming up, I want to give you some free great tools. Again, there's the menu right here. All of these things are designed to assist you in the consciousness aspect. Consciousness is where it all begins. What you do with consciousness is you have to take it into daily habits. It has to become a daily habit to become a destiny. What you do daily becomes what you are eventually. And it's the quality of action. See, the consciousness turns into the actions. And if you want to do a 15-minute consult with me, I'm opening those back up again. And I'll do it one time, but I notice sometimes people show up again and again, and I can't keep talking to people all the time. It just doesn't work that way. But for one time, I would love to talk to you and give you an immediate 15-minute breakthrough. We can talk about whatever's going on, and I'll give you my best wisdom in the moment. So that's available to you all at no charge. And when you really want to take it all the way, the Spiritual Millionaire Workshop is the answer. Absolutely. So here's what I want to challenge you. I want to give you a challenge. I want you to hear from Merrick, who found my book, Allow, and found my teachings on YouTube and started to apply it. I want you to hear from him. But most importantly, I want you to ask yourself what you're going to do in 2019 that's going to be different so that you can experience the breakthrough that you're looking for.
Hey guys, Merrick Vidakovich here from Australia, and I'm here in a place called Tasmania at the moment. And about 8 months ago, I was sleeping in my car, and I had zero in the bank, and I was doing things that I just really didn't love, and things were a little bit confusing for me. And long story short, I drove my way around Australia, and I found myself back home And, I was pretty wasn't too happy about the coming back home thing, but it was part of the journey. And long story short, I started to find Matthew David Hurtado's content. I really got into it. Like I'm telling you, I studied that stuff so much and put it into action. I've got a background where I've got a lot of self-development under my belt, but it just did nothing for me, as in stuff that was created from the minds of men and just had no God element to it. So long story short, I had applied the teachings of Matthew David Hurtado to my own life, and I manifested $100,000 in 8 months. So yeah, it was a really good journey, and I was always knowing that I would receive the money, for example, and it was just, I wouldn't say it was easy. I would just say that it was really important for Matthew David Hurtado to be there. Otherwise, who knows what would have happened. But Matthew David Hurtado was the conduit, and his work is fantastic. He's awesome. I can just listen to him over and over and over again. Like, it's just exciting to listen to him, and I got a lot out of his teachings, and I do have my own teachings. I have practiced things in the past. However, when it came to the specifics of the things that Matthew David Hurtado would teach, yeah, it was just powerful. So thank you very much, David, and I appreciate your work from the bottom of my heart. And if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be in this position. So thank you so much. Love, Merrick.
And I really appreciate that. That was a heartfelt testimonial from Merrick, and I'm very grateful for Merrick, and I'm so honored that he is doing what he's doing. I'm just so honored. When people make a breakthrough, it helps everyone around them. It helps everybody around you. You have no idea until you do it how many people become inspired when you take the bull by the horns and do it, and you just get out of your own way and start saying yes to what you know you need to do, and just putting yourself in the position to prosper and to transfer, just make the transformation. So this is the end of the training, guys. So let's just let's do some questions here. I'm around for a few more minutes. If there are a couple questions, I'd love to answer them. Amber, thank you for you as well. And Kathy, I agree with you. Some people are not ready. Frank Lopez, yes, challenge yourself. And Tajal, thank you. Brandolyn, yes, it was an amazing, beautiful love story. It really is. Sylvia has got just a wonderful story. It's all book material, Sylvia. You're like living your book out right now while you're writing it. It's amazing. So it's just cool. So Liz says, I cannot express my gratitude for empowering us to prosper. Liz, when you said in that video, when you're like, I'm so excited, I'm like, I would have bought anything from you in that moment, anything, because that is what it's all about. Like, that feeling that you had in that moment, that feeling is life. That is living. That is what it's all about. So I'm grateful for that. So Vancito, thank you very much. Blown away. Carrie, how do people register for the workshop? Well, here's what you want to do. You want to go to allowuniversity.com if you need more information, or you call the number 888-550-8231 and speak to Sabrina. Sabrina handles the entire workshop, setting up people together. So if you need a discount on a room with someone else, that's available. You want to book your rooms now. I'm just going to tell you this straight up. If you want to come and you're thinking about coming, get your room first. You're going to want to get your room right away. So get with Sabrina, or look on this Facebook page, because there's details about the rooms at the Marriott. Get your room ASAP. You need a room, okay? And the price is right. So do that. Get a hold of Sabrina. That's how you do it. Liz can talk to you as well. Sabrina and Liz are working together on setting this up. It's in Westlake, Texas. Beautiful Marriott, prosperity everywhere around there. And we're going to have night sessions with the VIP. This thing is going to be wonderful. It's going to be just wonderful. Again, I'm not going to make promises and guarantees. I don't like to do that. I have to focus on bringing my A game and everybody else that comes. So I'm not in the business of making promises and claims. I'm just going to bring it, and you guys come, and we all get together. And the people are amazing. The people, everyone. It's the consciousness. It's like home. It's the family that you always wish you had. It's the family in the flesh, in the room, all together, in the morphogenic field. It builds on itself. It builds itself. So cool. It's a lifetime experience. So Sabrina said she'll post the link. All right, guys. Well, that is it. Again, this training is this training's right here. So Kimona says she made her 100,000 her first year, but I want to make 500,000. Well, sure, absolutely. Take what you learned from this training. Look at the steps. Get the sheet and look at the mechanics of it. Okay. I'm telling you that in the information age, the reptilian brain works this way. You have to be very on point, very precise, very quick, one-step solution. Tell stories, don't tell facts. You have to know how to communicate. And if you do it right, you will have wonderful success. And if you understand prosperity with the 3-2-1, if you understand how the laws of prosperity work, I can easily see you doing 100,000 to 500,000, because in real estate, you're talking about big ticket items, and I know you can do it because someone else is doing it, so why not you? See something, buy in. See prosperity, do it. See something, buy in, get training. That's what I would recommend. All right, so Julian, yes, I will see you in a few weeks. So cool. Kathy, thank you for watching. I feel honored and appreciate it. And I'm going to sign off now, guys. It's been 1 hour. I wanted to keep this to 1 hour. So watch it again if you want it, and you'll get more and more out of it, because this is how you sell. I'd sell anything with this same strategy, from products to workshops to, if I had to sell cars, houses, I don't care what it is, because this is how communication, this is how people move from pain to pleasure, and how you move people. All right. Love you guys. Take care, and God bless.